Hi guys, welcome to this session on Microsoft Word. In this module, I want to have a look at how you can create an index reference. So first of all, you can see I've got a document on the screen with several pages. What you need to do is go to the References tab, and then you can see this section here that says Index. You have two options, active, one's grayed out. Mark entry is the first thing you need to do. You need to mark the entries in this document that you want to appear in the index. Once you've marked the entries, you can then insert the indexed, and then obviously once you've inserted the index, you can update the index. So let's go for mark entry. So when you click on mark entry, you get this box coming on the screen which floats. So it means you can click on the screen behind and then mark the entries you want. So for example, if I highlight Microsoft Office and go and click mark, which is grayed out, but it actually is only grayed out because this screen is active and the box isn't. But once I click on mark, watch what happens. Immediately it puts the show hide options on, so you can see the actual code, and then it's put that in there as well. And you've got the option underneath that to put sub entry. So if I put sub entry, and for example I might want to put not 2007, for example, and then I can go mark again and it will put a sub entry in there. You can see that. I have the option of marking it or mark all, but I'll just move on to something else. I'll just do specialist, and then I'll select mark all for that because there's quite a few options. And corporations, I'll go mark, and then you just scroll down through the document, highlighting the information that you want to appear in your index. Now if I click on mark and then mark, you just go all the way down to the bottom until, if that's in the way, you just click on mark. You're finished with all the available references. Now I'm not going to go through every single page, I'm just going to add a few. If you wanted a sentence or something like that, you can just click on the screen and highlight and drag over the actual area that you want, and then mark. And then when you get to the last page, let's go mark all of that, you can insert your entry. So if I close this and then get myself to the bottom of this screen and just put the title index, so we can have it underneath there, it's near the bottom of the page. I might want to take show hide off for a second so it's no longer in the way. Go back to references, and this is where you now insert the table. So insert, and you've got different options here. I personally like to use the formal style. Looks like that, which is quite cool, but there's other options in there you can have, and then OK, and it will drop the entries in there for you. So you can see it's alphabetically, and there's the sub entry where it's appeared at the top there as part of this option, and everywhere where there's multiple options you get the multiple page references there. So the good news about this is if these pages increase, so if I just click next to this and do a control, in fact I'll go further up actually and add a page because there might not be that many entries down the bottom there. If I do control enter a few times to give myself some hard pages, and then just get back down to the bottom to update this index, because obviously now the page numbers are not correct. You've got update index, and you can see the page numbers just change straight away there. Now I want to show you one other thing before I finish, and it's this. I just need to put a couple of names in here. Put my name in, and I'll put Dave Jones and Brian Green. It's just three names. Let's say I want to add these to my entry. I need to go back to mark entry, and then I highlight, in my case, my name, and then mark the entry, mark, and then I want to do the same for the others. Dave Jones, so I highlight Dave Jones, mark, and then Brian Green, mark. So this is how you can add extra things. It's also how you can delete things, because if I deleted that reference there, for example, that would now be removed once I did this. So if I close this now, I need to go back into this and update the index, and then you can see that it's put those relevant people in there, but it's done it by their first name, and you see I'm there, and then Dave Jones is there. If you didn't want that, what you can actually do inside of this area is you can change this around. If I just cut that out of there, get rid of the full stop, and put that at the end, so I still need a full stop, and then paste. So Saxton Steve, and then do the same for, if I cut that, get rid of the full stop, put full stop after Jones, and then paste, and the same for Brian, cut, delete the full stop, and put the full stop after. So what you're doing here, I know this is a manual process, but it's something that you can do if your references are picked up and you find them incorrect. I've put a hyphen there somehow, get rid of that. So now if I highlight this table and update table, you've got it the other way around now: Green Brian, Saxton Steve, Jones Dave. So I'm not suggesting you do that on a big document, but if you've got names or references or stuff like that where you want to actually change the order, that's what you have to do and where you have to do it. So you need show hide to be active, and it is. Show hide is active. Now it's not active, so for example you wouldn't be able to do it now on this screen because you can't see what you're doing, unless you'd have to completely delete it and remark it, but then you've marked it twice. So that's basically how you create an index reference in Word. That's all I want to talk about on this session, so hopefully you found that useful. Thank you for your time.